be recording this. Forgot to hit record earlier.
Different wacky colours to represent sort of the magic of the mortal realm.
Because right after the stream is done, I'm going to.
So I basically, right, my theory here was.
Well, I say right after the stream is done. In the morning, I'm going to be uploading from this point on. The stream will be going like completely unedited onto YouTube.
I can't get this thing. There we go.
I'm converting someone.
Lots of layers of croc green, Crocscore scales.
If you want to get into Age of Sigmar, I hear Age of Sigmar is pretty good.
On the back, and then every scale highlighted with deacon flesh. That took a while, I tell you. But I'll be painting a bit more of a gold this evening because Lizard Man, as we know, Seraphon.
Yes, say hi to the YouTube, everyone. Yeah. Also, if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, go over and break that subscribe button.
I must admit, I'm painting like
become addicted to the plastic crack. Do it.
And yeah, I've stolen the banner tonight.
Yeah, I noticed that. Someone said is Nick sat to the side, so he's lovingly staring at the Ultramarines banner. Yes.
Also, while we're talking about it, also go follow me on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah. Understand? He just sees me as a Codex rebel, and he can't get past it.
So Christy Teach has a question to ask us. Can Angron stay dead in a game? It was a bit scary when he came back 3 times. Yeah, we had a battle. And Angron just kept coming back.
Yeah. There. Haha.
I wasn't able to wallop him on the head.
Go hit that link tree and follow my other socials.
Even Dante.
Yes, Angron can stay dead. However, in large games, when there's lots of things being killed all over the place and the blood tithe points are stacking up, it's relatively easy for him to come back. Right now, is that going to change in the new edition of the game? We don't know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, also the bigger the game, the more blood tithe points are knocking around, and so and actually, Angron himself refunds essentially about a third of his points each time he dies, because his unit dies. And
well, you're able to catch the first 30 minutes of stream
so
and the first 2 minutes of recording.
Of course, the thing is, it's all good and well bringing Angron back.
Because I didn't think about pressing record at start.
And for that, you could get one, maybe even 2 other blood tithe effects that are very, very powerful.
Because I'm not a smart man.
The first one, I think, is 2 blood tithe points, and it gets you ignores mortal wounds on a 5 or a 6, something like that, isn't it? It's
I should do that. I need the time to edit it first, though, and I don't have that time right now.
It's amazing. So, that's even on your vehicles and stuff.
There's one which is specifically against psychic mortal wounds.
One's against psychic mortal wounds as well. Yeah. So basically, your whole army becomes rancid if you keep killing stuff, and also, of course, because Khorne cares not. Your stuff counts towards the blood tithe points as well. So you go, I'm just going to take these 5 units of jackals and just place them in front of your Blade Guard veterans for no reason.
See, the trick is to also get the +1 charge. That's 3 blood tithe points. And it means Angron, when he comes back, he has to roll only an 8-inch charge, which is, of course, Khorne's holy number.
I like the guy on the left. He's wearing a Space Wolf.
Space Wolf Dazzles in the chat. Science says, hang out and howl. If you
Metallica.
please. Is tradition. We've got some people painting with us as well. Caden's painting some slaves to dance.
I'd like to point out that I didn't question it to begin with.
But we'll talk more about why later on.
Plot scheme.
I'm going to ask later, though. I hope you know that.
I just built the Exalted Hero miniature. I got it from Warhammer World like yesterday and took it and built it immediately because it's one of my favourite models. It's like the archetypal Chaos Warrior. Do you know what I mean?
It's he is. Although I've always got a soft spot for Slambo on that account as well.
Fair play.
But as I was saying, the guy on the left, he's got a Space Wolf shirt. That is technically my faction.
Only got into the hobby in the last 10 years and don't know what Slambo is. It's like a special edition Chaos Warrior.
I probably should mix that. That's how you get
picked it in plastic a little while back.
That's what I was told.
Beautiful.
Space Wolf Dazzles painting fell bats for Curse City. Nice. Is it easier if you paint them upside down, fell bats? What do you reckon?
I think it's rude if you don't, to be honest.
Here's a good question from Gamer Cadet, and actually this is something we were looking into this week because someone asked me the question about Blood Angel Terminators. All right, and how they're painted, because we've actually shown Blood Angel Terminators in lots of different ways over the past, in lots of different colour schemes. And so we were trying to nail down the definitive way of painting a Blood Angel Terminator. And we asked the same question, and Gaming Cadet asks, why aren't Blood Angel Terminators wearing gold helmets despite the fact that they're veterans? It's a great question.
Because they're Terminators.
And the answer is...
Whoa, Nightbot actually showing off the Discord. Go Nightbot.
Go up to a Blood Angel Terminator and go, aren't you supposed to have a golden helmet? Oh, yeah.
It's a pile of servitors in the corner with gold spray cans just dismembered into 19 pieces each.
Yeah, that is Blood Rage just waiting to happen. That is. Or even worse, the Red Thirster.
Nice. 50 Shades
Blood Angels. Space Vamps.
Do you know what a dinosaur's least favourite reindeer? I guess you're going to say. Please tell us the joke, 50. Waiting for...
Oh, they just got... What just happened? Hello? They just got violently cut off. Oh, I had to reload, looks like.
Remember, just feel it.
This channel does not support, or it does support, but, you know, we don't need to see ads here. Mark Hamill's cool, though. Oh, we're not getting sound. There we are.
I think we're live. Hey, here we go. Amazing. This is something else. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Warhammer Fest 2023. We are so glad you can all be with us today.
Can't tell if that's the ghost or Matt at this point.
Here in the auditorium with 800 Warhammer fans. This is really quite a sight to see. And then the internet is piling as fast as they can into the Twitch stream on twitch.tv/Warhammer.
Are you guys able to hear them all right?
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Just to introduce us, there is us. So, my name is Eddie. I'm joined today by Adam, and we have some pretty cool Warhammer 40,000 stuff to share with all of you in the room and watching along on Twitch at home.
It is going to be incredible. I'm not sure I was put on the right Primark, if I'm honest, but I will take it.
It was the only one available at the time.
I mean, yeah. The best Primark was still asleep at the point this was made.
I think so.
Yeah, there we go. Here's how it's going to work today. It's going to work a bit like they always do, which is we're going to show you for the next maybe hour or so some awesome Warhammer stuff, some of which you've never seen, I would hope. And it's going to be.
We don't know.
Matt's
gone to bed, hopefully. And the ghost just knocked on the wall. We don't worry about it. It's fine.
But literally the numbers are going up. But there's 17,000 people in the Twitch chat right now. Maybe give us a shout from where you are. We've had it
plus the 4 in mine.
Have people travel from as far as Mexico, Canada.
Shout out to the 4 people in mine, the 4 people that decided, nah, I'm gonna watch this random guys instead of the actual Warhammer. Most of you, I think, are people I know in real life, so, or real life. But you know, shout out to you folks.
It has never been a more exciting time to be a Dark Angels collector than right now.
You have been spoiled.
I remember in 1995 or so sitting in my friend Alex's room reading Angels of Death with him for the first time, and you've got that epic bit where it talks about, you know, the lion is asleep and only, you know, the watchers in the dark know. And I was like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if just one day, you know, the lion came back, and we live in those glorious times.
What a time to be alive.
For those of you that don't pay attention to Warhammer at all, the lion is a Primarch. Primarch is just really big guy with powerful moves.
Didn't even finish it.
I'm deeply ashamed, if I'm honest. Have you done any hobby lately?
I have been painting some secret things that I'm not allowed to talk about until we've shown this preview.
Oh, nice. I've got a hunch, I know.
We have got 2 factions we're going to be focusing on particularly today, Space Marines and Tyranids. I'm curious.
Nope, they have moves, not boobs. They don't have boobs.
I'm most excited about. So, could I get a cheer in the room if you're most excited about Space Marines?
Woo!
Quite loud.
It's after quiet hour, I can't.
I would have lost my lunch money if we bet on that.
There you go. Okay, so I think it's probably time for us to have a look at our first video in which we will be looking at the new launch box for the new
here we go.
Warhammer 40,000.
Here goes my wallet. My wallet's about to go. Oh, look at that box. Oh. Book. It comes with the cards. Oh, the models. Oh, 47 nids. Leviathan.
Sure. I've got one! I've got one!
Look at that box!
Soul mine! Soul mine!
This is really quite heavy, I'm not going to lie.
So Beast, this is Leviathan. So this is the launch box for the new edition of Warhammer 40,000, and in a surprise to everybody, inside the box contains Space Marines and Tyranids.
Who saw that coming?
Out of nowhere. So it is a chunky box. It is at least as large as the previous edition of Warhammer 40,000. There's loads of models in there. There's about 50 Space Marines, 25 plus Space Marines, about 50 Tyranids, rulebook, all sorts of stuff. So
my wallet's all the way over there. I do the bit where you see on TikTok. Take my money. Take my money.
The first thing we're going to take a closer look at are some of the miniatures. So we're going to start with the best army.
Oh, we're starting off with Nids, I think. Yeah, start strong with some Nids. Oh, look at that thing. Oh, look at that thing. Oh, look at those. These are gonna be so fun to paint. Oh, boy. What are those? I'm not even a Nid player and I want to paint these so bad. See, I think I'm actually going to end up painting these for Goose. So I got to figure out, do I paint them in white and orange, like standard Goose colors? Oh, that thing looks proper menacing. The swarm descends to feed. Everything is prey.
There we go.
I could ask myself, how would we know facing this way when the video was finished? And that reaction kind of helped. So thank you, everyone. What an incredible range of awesome new Tyranid models. Eddie, where do we start?
Yeah, so we'll go through some of the models in the box. Some of them we have seen before as we've kind of built up to this release. Some of them are brand new,
Tyranid
on
Prime.
so we start off with the Tyranid Prime, who is the kind of de facto leader of the Tyranids. This is a model we saw online. I think
Matt, go the fuck to sleep.
Flying Tyranid warrior, alpha beast.
I will continue to cuss him out till he goes to sleep.
With the concept of,
Watch, I just woke him up and he's like, motherfucker, I was asleep. Let me see what mine says. It's generally accurate. I think that just shows like everyone that's been active throughout it, because on mine it also shows that Potato's still active. But that can't be right because there's only 2 people.
It's an incredible model.
Go to sleep, Matt.
He towers over any of the things in the space except for one thing. And he's going to be a really dominating centerpiece.
Oh, sorry, Matt. Go back to sleep. Or else.
It gives you another way to do a very flying-based Tyranid army.
Yeah,
but let's move on. You've seen like that before.
Go on then.
Another unit we have before, Von Ryan's Leapers. This is a
Forgot about those.
breed of lictor type creature, and they hunt in packs. Basically, they can deep strike in games. They can pounce out and kill enemy characters and units and grab objectives and that sort of stuff. But
Joke's on you. I have a Febreze bottle at the ready.
Between sort of mantis shrimp and praying mantis, sort of weird.
They've definitely got a strong lictor element to them. Smaller probably in stature than lictors, it's fair to say. 40 mil basis for that person, which you always are.
Really cares.
Stop encouraging violence.
Are going to fill that space in your force.
I'll time both of you out.
Scouting and hard hitting in that initial surge you're looking to make.
In the vanguard.
Backing up my lictors.
This is new. This is a Psychophage. So this is a Tyranid Psycho-eating feeder beast, basically.
Yeah,
so
it's Edna.
A brand new thing. We haven't seen these before. This is a variation for the new Tyrannic War, and a little bit like some of the other Tyranid creatures we've seen before. It consumes lots of biomass, but this has a special preference or a special particular taste for psychic creatures. So if you've got things like librarians, or you're up against like Thousand Suns or something, this guy's going to have a field day chowing down on those. And he gets special rules to make him
so
more
cool
deadly
looking.
against psychic enemies and that sort of thing.
He's also capable of something called a psychocyastic torrent.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Bonus points if you can say that after a long day of playing Warhammer. My favourite thing here is that it is literally in the process of devouring some poor space marine.
I think that's actually like Librarian Blue. That's
Yes.
my headcanon.
Yeah, or you know, an entire chapter of Blue Guy.
Could be.
I love it. And yeah, seriously creepy. It's got this huge.
Yes, let the Ultramarines die.
Hoovering up.
I have a severe hatred for the Ultramarines. You guys will find this out very quickly.
Yeah, it's all sorts of
We've got a new breed of Gaunt. Hopefully, there we go. This is the Barb Gaunt. So this is a new artillery beast for Tyranids. It's not a Biovore. It is a new kind of creature. So you have the Gaunt at the bottom, and you've got this kind of parasitic gun beast that's attached to the back of it, and it's effectively suppressing artillery rounds at the enemy. So quite short range for Tyranid artillery.
Those are really cool looking.
And it's more about suppressing enemy formation.
Oh man, I'm gonna have so much I gotta edit for Wednesday's video.
Explosive frag-esque sort of rounds being fired out of it.
Good thing I got. It's Tuesday and Wednesday off.
The weapon on the back is a biocannon. It's going to be a bio something after all. But the weapon is a symbiotic creature which is clinging to the back. So there is 2 Tyranid forms on that one model. And so one's in charge of the lumbering round and getting in the right place, and the other's in charge of firing its biocannon at the enemy, I guess. 40 mil bases again. So these are bigger than your average Gaunt, is fair to say, and perfect for being that living artillery that the Highflying sometimes needs.
I quite like it. It's the first Tyranid I think we've seen that's only got 3 feet on the ground. So it's got one of its kind of sidearms is kind of stuck into the side of the.
Oh yeah.
There's something very creepy about the way.
It's like lopsided. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, there's something very creepy about the way that Tyranids interface with their weapons.
Yeah, it's not very wholesome. Then we have another new type of Gaunt. These are Neurogaunts. This is a slightly smaller breed of Gaunt, smaller than Termagants and Hormagaunts, and they are effectively completely subservient to the will of their synapse creature that they defend. So you have a bunch of these guys watching your big synapse creatures, and they just throw themselves in front of bullets.
Interesting.
They become more powerful when they're within synapse range. Otherwise, they are kind of blind and leaderless.
So yeah, if you look at the squad, there's 11 of these, and the one in the middle, I believe, is got to get the name right. So one of them is a node beast who leads the Neurogaunts. So I mean, not a squad leader in any conventional sense, but the one most capable of taking orders from the hive mind and making.
Definitely need to figure out what colors I get you to paint these in.
Without it, they are, as you say, quite literally blind.
Yeah. And what kind of creature will they be looking after? It'll be one of these. So this is.
Whoa.
This is a Neuro Tyrant. So
that reaction was so
good.
Oh.
So we saw this guy in the cinematic trailer for the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. This is an alternate
Goose, welcome in.
Basically, if you'd rather go,
you are just in time. They're talking about they're talking about NIDS.
Have one of these at the head of your force, and it is just an entirely psychic creature. That is very, very in tune with the shadow of the warp. So as well as having some pretty horrific psychic powers,
Look at
it can
that
also bolster the
model.
the shadow of
So
the warp,
good.
which is a board-wide rule for Tyranids in the new edition of Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, a thing to note is the Tyranid creature, however you
It just looks so menacing.
From another dimension, it's flanked by neuroloids, which are kind of like synaptic relays for it.
Like signal boosters for your Wi-Fi, sort of.
I mean, like I guess all the best, like, you know, sort of premium centerpiece models have little people carrying things for them. And,
I don't know what you're referring to.
I just saying. This guy appears to have people carrying his psychic brain power for him.
Yeah, if you need more brain, you can just have a couple of spare brains following around.
Yeah, frankly, if you want to literally blow people apart,
So I do it.
Bullets, this is the way.
It's good to know. One thing we noted about this guy, which I thought was quite cool, it looks quite a lot like, those of you remember the very, very, very early Warhammer 40,000 Zone Freight. It's got the same head.
Sorry, anytime I just see a older like Warhammer model, I just die of laughter. They look so derpy.
Comes all around the top of the head. There's some
Right.
sort of shared design language here.
I think even the audience that's currently at the event was like, ooh.
So this is very much leader beast. But I love it.
Honestly,
and then probably the star of the
These look so
Tyranid
good.
half of the Leviathan box, we have the Screamer Killer, which is an enormous great version of the Carnifex genus. This is not replacing the Carnifex. You can still put Carnifex in your army. This is a different, bigger, bruisier version of the Carnifex. Famous from the, I think, 2nd edition of Warhammer 40,000 this first came out. And you can either smash people with 4 enormous claws, or it can shoot plasma out of its face. And when it does that, it makes a big scream, which is where it gets its name.
Plasma out of its face. A
Plasma out of its
I remember,
face.
I mean, who here? Come on, I would like a brief poll. Who here remembers the original Screamer Killer releasing? Yeah. It used to fire off a plasma pistol. That was the way the rules were rationalised, right? Yeah. I remember.
There he is on the screen.
Ah, well, there we go. We can see the shared heritage, although I'd like to think that we've come a little way since then. Oh man, that's nostalgia.
Why would they replace a model, Goose? They gotta make that money.
So,
One last thing as well, of course, very important.
everybody's most important thing in the whole set.
You also get some Rippers. So the last version of Rippers came kind of sprawled across the rest of the Tyranid range, but mostly you got them in the Termagant box. The new Termagant sprue also has Rippers on it, so if you get some Termagants, they still come with Rippers. And they look very similar to the current one, so you can happily mix them in with any existing Rippers you already have. There we go.
I actually struggled to tell the difference. I've got quite a few Ripper swarms and was staring at these for a while. They're going to match beautifully with your existing Tyranid armies. Anybody else got a Tyranid army out there? There was a lot of cheer for them.
They will soon.
Will soon.
Yeah. And one of the things about this box, the Leviathan box, is that the 2 halves of it, if you take some of the models from the Tyranid side and some of the models from the Space Marine side, you can make them both into functioning combat patrols for the new edition as well. So on the screen right now, that is the combat patrol for Tyranids in the new edition of Warhammer 40,000, and you get it in this box. Cool. There we go. Right. Shall we have a look at some Space Marine?
Show us the other
Welcome back, Potato. Scares the shit out of me.
A crusade to cleanse the stars.
It's Gilliman.
Our forces engage the remnants of Leviathan. Soon, their foulness will be but a memory.
Cool Space Marine models, but oh, it's a Terminator captain. No, who am I kidding? That's a lieutenant. That is 100% going to be a lieutenant. Flamers. Oh, Flamers. Dreadnought. Big guns. Heavy bolters. Oh, good. Those guys have robes already. Don't have to green stuff as many. And that guy that we've seen before, he still looks it. That's the lieutenant. Ooh, an apothecary. And Gravis armor. So we have 3 different kinds of armor. No, we have 4 HQs in this box? Really? What do you mean, why is there bread in our tub? Why, what? I can't check now, they're about to talk about the Space Marines.
You really have to give, like, kudos to the Warhammer design team that have put all this amazing effort into these
Why
models,
is there
but
bread?
also
Is it our
Coaching
biscuits?
gang in the Warhammer TV team who made them look so dope in the video.
Is it the biscuits?
Just awesome. Where do we even begin with this?
Let's start with our captain. Start with the captain. Start with him.
I will have a
Start with the
look
captain in Terminator
after
armor.
this.
So
I don't know why there's
we
bread,
knew
okay?
We had a squad of Terminators coming. We knew we needed someone to lead
I don't know why there's
them.
bread
We
in the
have this guy
bathtub.
box.
I
Adam, what do we
don't know.
about it?
Oh, well, there's a lot to say, right? The first thing is the Warhammer studio, the Heavy Metal team have painted this in the colours of the Ultramarines. You can paint yours in the colours of any Space Marine chapter that you wanted. The details
Good,
that
Space
are on
Marines
there are
suck.
not
I mean,
Ultramarines,
wait, no,
those are ones
Ultramarines
like
suck.
the job and the decals
Parted.
and more, which later.
I'm
But
tired.
this is in the colours of several
Please don't hate me.
active
I love you guys.
companies right now.
But
And
you're
it's
not
just
you're not
incredible, right?
Ultramarines. That's why.
The work that's gone into upgrading the Terminator armor, so it's exactly the same Terminator armor we've always known and always loved, just like refined over years, and it just looks incredible. He's clutching a storm bolter. He's got this awesome relic power sword. What's not to love?
Yeah, it's quite an imposing model as well because the new Terminator stands.
Ignore any ads. I'm not giving these guys a subscription.
So he's standing on the head of a slain screamer killer there.
Yeah, he's already done a good morning's work.
Yeah, but because of the size of the base and the size of the new Terminators, you can put this guy next to something like Abaddon, and it doesn't look like he's wildly outmatched. Now, he might be wildly outmatched, but he doesn't look like he is.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a big boy, and he looks awesome. And as I say, if you are I don't know, let's say you like other chapters of Space Marines that also like Terminator armor, just saying, you could paint him bone, and that would be perfectly fine.
Then we've got a new squad in Tactics armor. This is the Infernus squad.
All the flamers, all the time.
This is a whole squad of Primaris Space Marines with flamethrowers, basically. So if you're thinking that you're going to go up against lots of Gaunts for some reason, 10 flamers will do a lot of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen this weapon type appear for the first
want
time
a lot
with
of these
the Black
guys.
Templar release that happened, and I'm sort of in a time. What was that, last year? I want to say
2 years, I think.
So living in a time.
Maybe 1 year.
And yeah, so we've seen Pyroblasters before. We've never seen them in this volume, I think it's fair to say. And when you are purging terrible Xenos filth from your planet, there might be nothing better.
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys will sit very happily alongside things like your Intercessors and Assault Intercessors and fill a similar sort of role. But if you think that...
Also, Killer, how the hell did you show up right when we were talking about the actual guns and not the Tyranids, the bio guns?
Yeah, and it's worth talking a little bit about the set. There's loads of...
Did you have like a Spidey sense go off?
Poses within it. You've got the Sergeant, which looks...
Sergeant's very cool, isn't he?
Yeah, he looks awesome.
The Sergeant looks
like you're not
very
worth
cool.
The flamethrower, he's getting his knife.
And then you got one who's going to...
What did... oh, shit.
Okay, cool.
Shit.
So the next squad?
Shit.
So we have a new unit of Stern Guard veterans. So there's some quite cool stuff about this kit to note. So they are in Primaris scale, certainly. One thing you'll notice is that some of the models in this unit, the warriors have started to take bits of relic war gear and incorporate them into their suits. So if you look at the top left, you'll see that he's wearing, I think, Mark 7 helmet on him as well. And I think there's a couple of shoulder pads in there that look maybe a little bit iron armory, perhaps.
Yeah, the nice thing, and I could wax lyrical about Stern Guard. One, because they're one of my favourite units, and two, because these do such an amazing job of sort of bringing them bang up to date.
I am fucked.
They represent the sort of fighting elite of the chapter. You know, they're first company veterans, hence you can see white shoulder pads, trim. But they've got awesome combi weapons. You've got the one with
these
that
look
sort of
so cool.
looking heavy bolter. And this is a chance to sort of really see that bridge maybe coming between the Primaris army that's been rushed out as part of the Indomitus Crusade and how it's bedding in with chapters.
Yeah, they've started to take bits of relics and older bits of armour and mix in tabards and stuff, and these are starting to feel very like veteran Space Marine, aren't they?
Yeah,
very much so. I'm probably going to be asleep when that happens.
Putting their own stamp on this unit within their collection. I know I love putting veterans in my Dark Angels army. These are just be another veteran squad for me. And there's something very cool about it. All the tilting plate for the sergeant.
Show me that dreadnought, though, please.
Yeah, I could run through what like the various options and things they have. We're talking about all the combi weapons.
Loving those robes.
How much further I should go.
One model I won't have to put some robes
it's
on.
Worth adding, they are single pose in this set.
Yep.
So if you are like me and you just like being able to build things fairly quickly, that's no bad.
Cool. Let's have a look at the next thing. And we have a new Apothecary, Apothecary Biologist. This is an Apothecary in Gravis armor. We haven't seen one of those before. And this guy's a little bit different from the Apothecaries we've seen previously in Space Marine armies, is in that he isn't necessarily going to be healing your Space Marine troops. He's got a container there to take
I gotta figure out, what do Space Force don't have an Apothecary? I gotta figure out what they have
in this set, you might be trying to get like material or data from synapse creatures or something like that, to capture some like synapse nodes, that sort of thing.
Gonna do a
what he does
lot
when
of
you put him into
research
your
on
units
this.
is because he's got that expert knowledge, he can give them bonuses and buffs. So this is buffing your own units rather than...
Especially gonna be fun because of how much I know this thing's gonna be already, because I know how much the last box set was.
Gravis armored troops, so that he can do his best thing. So we're talking like aggressors, eradicators, heavy intercessors, at which point his like extra knowledge that he's gleaned from the corpses of the dead will be super useful. And an Apothecary in Gravis armor just looks so good.
I think he's going to Blood Angel up quite nicely, this guy, because they like Apothecaries.
Yeah, absolutely. He's armed
Do I
with
convert him to a
an
chaplain?
bolt pistol, so he can still do the Emperor's Mercy should it be required. But really, he's there to make sure that your troops have all the buffs they need.
And 40k's cutest chainsaw.
The little one on his shoulder.
He's a real adorable chainsaw.
Let's have a look at probably the centerpiece kit then of the Space Marine Force, which is this guy, the Ballistus Dreadnought. So this is a reinvention of a classic kind of Dreadnought style. We've seen with the Redemptor Dreadnought and then with the Brutalis Dreadnought, the other two options, the kind of tactically flexible.
There is many chainsaws
this is the other end of the spectrum,
in 40k.
All about long-range shooting Dreadnought. So you've got
they've got everything from a little itty bitty one on the Gravis guy
back of your army supporting your long-range troops and taking
to one that could just like if it were to drop off the giant robot it's on, you'd be squished.
This is what you
Like, it's bigger than this room.
It's got the very like strong gun emplacement vibes to me. You can
It's
imagine
probably
sort of
as long as my
numbering
hallway
down,
chainsaw.
good news at long range and then advanced.
And I think there's one larger.
It's everything to love. The guns are a ballistus missile launcher and a ballistus las cannon. Also has twin store bolters. This thing is.
Look at this thing.
It's going to kick out quite a lot of firepower. And a reinvention as well of kind of the classic little boxy dreadnought. So there he is, next to his granddad.
Never talk to my son like that again.
Absolutely, something like that. But like a really, really nice kind of classic style of dreadnought that's it's nice to see make its way into the new edition with a reinvention.
Yeah, look at it.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
I also hear, and this is
I
I understand that as you build it, there are layers of detail inside that once you cover them up, you'll never see again. But if you are like true to the cause, you'll paint those before you glue on the outer sarcophagus.
You're crazy. Yeah.
I'm not.
Okay,
that committed.
so that's the whole box. That's all the miniatures all together. So there you go, get a sense of what you get. So loads of Space Marines, even more Tyranids. It's a very, very packed box. So in terms of like big kits, you've got 4 significantly like centerpiece kits in that box.
So before we go on, which thing out of the miniatures in this set are you most excited about?
I think the Screamer Killer.
I think the Librarian for me.
I think when it came out, I remember the Screamer Killer.
The Librarian or the Lieutenant? I'm not sure which.
White Dwarfs and things when I was a kid, and I always wanted one, and I never got one because it was big and metal, and I couldn't afford it.
It does feel like a real return of sort of a classic thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Really cool.
And you've sort of been able to make them with the Carnifex kit, but actually seeing it properly reinvented is very cool. On the Space Marine side, I think we'd seen him before, but I really like the Librarian.
He is cool. I am Space Marine wise. I'm absolutely torn between either the new Terminators, which are everything I could have hoped for and more, and the Sternguard veterans.
Okay, what else comes in the box?
Regular power armor guys tromping around. I've never really embraced the Deathwing side of my army. I've mostly focused on Ravenwing, and the idea of being able to finally like go all
join the inner circle.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And Tyranid wise, the Neuro Tyrant all day.
The Neuro Tyrant's very cool.
Amazing. The chat is shouting some things in, but it's gone mad, and I couldn't possibly tell you. I think I've seen a lot of love for various things in there, but a lot of talk about the cannons right now. So we'll trust them. Is that everything in the box? Then we're done.
So that's all the miniatures. There is more in the box. We have the Leviathan book. So we're going to take a little bit of a closer look at that, and we have a video to tell us a bit more about what's going on with that book.
Let's go.
Show us the vid. Oh ho ho, boy.
The book that comes in the Leviathan box set is packed with background on the setting of Warhammer 40,000 and the various forces that fight across the galaxy. Inside, you'll find inspiring photographs of miniatures and immersive artwork, along with the core rules of the game and a narrative crusade campaign based around the 4th Tyrannic War.
That smells like Ultramarine propaganda.
Cool. So, as well as all the miniatures, you get all of this stuff in the box too. So you get your Leviathan book, which is closing on 400 pages. You've got some cards.
Shit ton of transfers.
And we've got the transfer.
See, Imperial Guard. No, not Guard.
It's massive and heavy. There you go. That is my official summation.
No, Dark Angels.
So
the transfers.
As you expect, there's loads of background in there. It's got a little bit of an update on what's going on in the galaxy. All of the usual kind of setting stuff. So give you an overview of the various different factions that are fighting. The core rules in there are quite interestingly done because they've got their own page numbers, and what that means
that just threw me actually.
Yeah, what that means basically is that wherever you get your core rules, whether you're going to be downloading them for online or you get them in this book or separately in a different book, whenever we reference a page number, it will always be the same. So they're kind of broken out a little separate thing. The book itself, in this format, is going to be exclusive to this box. The contents in there will be available separately in different forms, so you'll be able to get the rules bit separately and the Crusade bit separately and all the other bits. But if you want it all together in one big book with the lovely Leviathan cover, the only way to get that is in this box.
I have... Oh man, that's so much cooler that they actually put the name of it on the book this time. My book from last edition, they just put core rules. I mean, it's got a freaking cool picture, but like... Let's compare here.
Do you want to tell us about the transfer?
I'd much rather have the name Indomitus.
It's a bit nerdy.
Indomitus
Immediately
on the side.
As soon as Eddie opened the box. I've got the stats on the transfer sheets as well. For those of you who are listening, there are 849 separate decals on this sheet.
800?
Some of them are really, really tiny. And it covers, can you see on, no, it's not on the screen. You'll just have to trust me. It covers loads of different chapters. So you've got Ultramarines, Dark Angels, Blood Angels.
I see my Space Marines.
You've got the Raven Guard as well. There's Imperial Fists.
Wolves.
And then you've got all of the numbers and like unit iconography. I never throw away a transfer sheet. I've got like a big envelope full of them.
Is that
honestly,
runes?
It's one that might be my
Runic numbers
the
there?
Imperial Fist transfers are really, really cool in it as well. They're like super good. Because all those Stone Guard get like unique looking heraldry, so it's going to be...
You've got lots of little tilting shields and stuff, haven't you? So little tiny bits of detail and knee pads and things.
Very excited for the transfers.
As well as that, you've got the new mission cards. So this box comes with full set of mission cards, which is what we talked about on the community site yesterday. This is basically how you generate games. If you don't want to play either a Crusade game or the default mission out of the box, you can generate match play games basically with this deck of cards.
I also love how the backs look like something straight out of the Imperium. I don't know
like
what.
Like some tarot.
Yeah, slightly obscure, you know, like esoteric and weird. The wrong person holds them and they're in trouble. But you get to hold them and play a game.
So the other thing about this box is that it tells a story about what's happening in a particular planet somewhere in the Imperium. So we're just going to jump now to another video with the Warhammer Studio to tell us a bit more about what's going on in the story of this box set.
Okay, yeah, let's hear about the story.
The box is packed full of exciting new Space Marine and Tyranid miniatures that will tell a great story. The contents of the Leviathan box are telling a story that's probably typical of any number of war zones across the Bastior subsector, which is the region of space the north lot of the battles in the early parts of the Fourth Tyrannic War take place in. We can see a number of different Tyranid creatures, including assimilator beasts, eater beasts, creatures that typically only turn up towards the latter stages of a planetary invasion. The Space Marines have turned up with their own deep-striking, teleporting First Company strike force to disrupt and destabilize Tyranid assault. This planet's probably already doomed, but if the Space Marines can effect victory, they can destabilize Tyranids, they can drain the hive mind of biomass, they can force it to expend and waste resources, which is something that the hive mind never wants to do when it's conducting its invasions. If the Space Marines can't achieve victory here, it'll spell doom not only for this world, but also for the Imperial armies trying to gather themselves and prepare for fresh waves of Tyranid assaults. The Space Marine Strike Force includes a number of First Company squads and characters. We've got a Stern Guard veteran squad, who are equipped with a variety of different bolt rifles with specialist ammunition and combi weapons, so they can be targeting different Tyranid creatures and be sure of success. There's a Space Marine Terminator squad, equipped with Stormbolters, Power Fists and an Assault Cannon, who are capable of mowing down many times their own number of Tyranid enemies. This strike force is led by a captain and a librarian in Terminator armor, allowing them to go toe-to-toe with enormous Tyranid monstrosities. And a ballistas dreadnought equipped with las cannons and missile launchers, capable of taking out armored organisms like a Carnifex. My favourite model in the box, and perhaps the most important member, is the Primaris Lieutenant, a representative of a previous expedition to this planet, being recovered by this Space Marine Strike Force. So he is covered in trophies and improvised armour of defeated Tyranid creatures.
I love the improvised armour. It goes so well with my chapter.
The idea of destroying, consuming the Imperium rather than fighting in its defence, the new Tyranid army in the Leviathan box has a whole host of new creatures, led by the Neurotyrant, a new type of synapse organism, a far more psychic creature than the existing Hive Tyrant, just as commanding, a little bit less combative, but a force magnifier for the shadow in the warp that precedes all the Tyranid invasions. The Neuro-Tyrant is backed up by a winged Tyranid Prime as a bit of an enforcer, capable of flying in and dealing with any pesky Terminators that would threaten the Synapse creature.
That model
in charge
definitely
of the
looks better for
sphere. And
360.
there are some bigger creatures. The Psychophage, or Witch Eater, is an assimilator beast capable of consuming any biomass on the planet and kicking out all sorts of corrosive spores, but has a particular taste for psychic creatures, just like the Librarian in Terminator are. And the Screamer Killer is perhaps the most iconic and recognizable representative of the Tyranid hive mind in this collection, a wonderful update to a classic design.
Yeah, so a little bit more there about the background of the lore, about what's going on in this box. One of the things that does come in the Leviathan book is an entire Crusade supplement for Warhammer 40,000, which deals with the Fourth Tyrannic War. So if you're a narrative player, and that's how you like to play your games, you have an entire Crusade in there, basically, which you can play with either the Space Marines or the Tyranids, or any army that wants to join in with the Fourth Tyrannic War can take part as well. And in the narrative, it also includes things like Astra Militarum and Custodes and the various other factions that are getting trying to intercept the Tyranid tendrils, basically.
I think it's a perfect opportunity with this box, assuming that you're going to split it with somebody and you're nice. You can essentially, you and a friend.
If anyone wants to
really
split this with me, please reach out to my business email. Unless you're Goose, then Goose.
And it's a chance to
let me know.
Some cool storytelling with your game.
I will gladly split the Tyranid. You can have the Tyranid half.
So we will be bringing
I'll
out
paint it for if you want.
the Crusade elements of the Leviathan book separately. So if you don't want to pick the Leviathan book up, if you wanted to just get the rules separately somehow, you can still join in with the narrative through the Crusade expansion. And that's basically how Crusade rules in the new edition will be delivered. Rather than being in your codexes, the narrative and narrative gaming will come out together as campaign supplements. So if you want to follow the big narrative beats of the edition, you could do it.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
Awesome.
Obviously, it's got some glorious new artwork in it, so we've got a little bit of a teaser about some of the things that you can see. There's all the campaign books these days are full of absolutely glorious bits of art, and they give you that kind of evocative look and feel of what it's like to face the horror of High Fleet Leviathan in the Fourth Tyrannic War.
Yeah, I think we talk a lot about the grim darkness of the 41st millennium and how doomed humanity is and a galaxy totally at war. But I think the bottom left picture really sums that up for me. A very forlorn-looking guardsman, just as the horrors of the universe.
Yeah.
There's like a living tide of Tyranids about.
Oh, you guys can't see the bottom left.
Like,
oh.
Three, go. Doing all right. If you want to read along with the story of Leviathan as well, we will be bringing out a novel for you Black Library fans out there, which is called Leviathan. So nice and easy to remember, by Darius Hinks, and this tells the story of the Ultramarines' first company in a particular battle against the Tyranids of High Fleet.
My ear itches.
Cool.
Perfect, and by the very excellent Mr. Hinks.
Yeah. Good book. Alongside this box, we've talked a little bit about them already, but just to give you the full spread, here are the index cards that will be released alongside or very soon after the box of Leviathan. And you can see you've got 28 different decks of index cards, which are available for all the current factions in Warhammer 40,000, effectively. These will be available as cards, which are really convenient. You can kind of have them in front of you and lay them down in front of you before your games.
I'm going to have to get me some Space Wolf cards.
Though, you can also download these from the internet for free.
So basically, as soon as you get your hands on the Leviathan box, grab yourself some index cards and you can start playing and using your army, whatever.
Use your existing army, start playing with them. Okay. We've got one last bit of Warhammer 40,000 news to share with you today. We're basically going to give you the roadmap for the first year of releases for Warhammer 40,000. So,
really?
No pitch.
Ooh. People like maps.
They like maps. So just in case you didn't believe us that there'll be some stuff following the Leviathan box, here is what is coming in the first year of Warhammer 40,000. So we've got, for summer 2023, you have the Leviathan box, of course, with the core book in it, which is also available separately, and the Tyrannic War book, which is also available separately, and the chapter-approved mission deck, which is also available separately, and all of the index cards you need to play. And then, in a surprise to nobody, the first two codexes of the new edition will be Tyranids and Space Marines, and they will be with us in autumn of 2023.
You'd have got the lowest odds ever on that, but you would have won the bet.
It's true. And then before the end of the year, we will also have a new codex for Adeptus Mechanicus and for Codex Necrons. And then in the first few months of 2024, we will have an absolute smorgasbord of codexes, including
Holy
Dark Angels,
cow.
Orcs, Adeptus Custodes, Tau Empire, and Chaos Space Marines. It's a really nice spread.
That is an onslaught of Warhammer 40,000.
Okay, so I bet they're doing the
other
big
thing
one
to note
there.
about
I
all of
bet
those
is they're
codexes
doing Dark
is that
Angels.
all of
I
them will
bet
come
the
with at
Dark
least
Angels
some
get.
new miniatures.
I'm betting, willing to bet, Dark Angels get a range refresh. I'd put money on it. Their
If you
primark
put
just
a
came
pin
out.
right now down, this could be the best year ever for Dark Angels then, couldn't it?
It could be. Could be.
Man, I can't wait. Awesome. Right. Where does that leave us?
So that brings us to the end of the Warhammer 40,000 preview. So that's been very cool. Have you got anything you're most excited about there, Adam?
Terminator and Sternguard, miniatures wise, I'm super hyped for a new era of Warhammer 40,000 gaming, if I'm honest. I know we'll talk more about that over the coming days and weeks and months. Well, it's not even a month. This coming period of time, and a chance to sort of get my armies out and use them fresh again. My Tyranids have sat on a shelf for more than a year and not being used. It's a chance to get those out and refresh them. So I think the thing will be the Stone Garden Terminators. The feeling, though, is just what a great time for Warhammer 40,000. What an awesome time to be excited about this hobby that I've enjoyed since I was a 10-year-old boy.
I've got 3,000 points of Tyranids at home, so I think that I might.
I gotta get my nids, not my. I gotta get my Space Marines finished before I get this box.
Could be.
Sold.
Be.
Right.
If,
I was nearly, yes. So, what we're going to do next is we're going to say goodbye to the very excellent people who've joined us in the Twitch stream. Right now, 36,700 people watching concurrently. Thank you for spending your time with us. It has been a delight.
With that, we're going to mute them.
More previews across Warhammer Fest. Don't feel that you need to step away from your computers if you're with us on Twitch. There's going to be streamed gaming throughout the event. There is just like 100 meters through that way, an enormous events hall packed with more gaming tables than I think I've ever seen in one place. Kill Team, Warcry, Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, just everything you could hope to see.
We're going to shut these guys up. I'm just going to do a quick review of everything that they just kind of revealed. Leviathan. Look at this. Oh, man. 25 Space Marine miniatures, 47 Tyranid miniatures. There's almost double of the NIDs. Leviathan rulebook. Man. The captain, man. The librarian. Apothecary looking sick. The Phobos Marine, I love him every time because of that Tyranid makeshift shoulder pad he's got going on. The Stern Guard veterans. Ooh, look at them. I'm calling them Wolf Guard because that's what they are to me. They are Wolf Guard. The Terminators. Gonna need so much to do to these guys. The Infernus Squad. For when you just need to melt something. And last but not, the Ballistus Dreadnought. And then, of course, the Tyranids. Screamer Killer. The Von Ryan Leapers. The Termagants. Plus the Rippers. The Nero guns. The Barb guns. These things look sick. Psychophage. The cards. But that is it for this stream. Let me quickly pop over here, and we're going to find someone to raid this late at night. If we can find anyone. Lord. I think most of the people I would want to raid right now are just going to be... Oh, someone doing a battle report. We could raid them. They're being really quiet. We are not going to raid them. Okay, I've just done my topic as Warhammer. Oh. Looks like anyone I would actually like want to raid right now is doing Warhammer. So we're gonna call this it. Don't forget, once I wake up in the morning, this will be going live on YouTube. So you guys have a fun rest of your day, night. Go to sleep if you're as late as it is for me. I'm gonna go to bed, and I will see you guys in another stream. Peace out.